Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie and I'd like to wish you a happy new year. Today is our first project of the new year. It's card making project 565 and it had to be a good one to start off the year. And I thought the best way is to make a thank you card, basically, to thank everybody for those gorgeous goodies and the festivities we've attended to over the last month. And it's just a nice idea to create something showing our gratitude. Would also work for teachers' cards later in the year or for any thank you card that you've got to send at any point. And you could easily change the occasion to something else. We're going to use lots of our Anna Griffin goodies to make this card, and everything that I use will be listed on my blog, so please be sure to check it out. The blog links are always shown on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at Anne-Marie Vaux, V-A-U-X, and you can like my page and then follow my crafty life, shall we say, get extra details about the projects, a few extra photos, and you can see more on the blog as well. You can hit the notification subscription button on YouTube. All my videos are free to watch, so if you hit that, then you get notified when new videos are available of tutorials and projects. So it's great to have you with me, and I know we've had quite a few new viewers and subscribers over Christmas, so it's nice to have lots and lots of people that are both new to the craft and, you know, crafters that have been with me from the beginning. So a big hello to those people. So without further ado, let's sit back, relax, and let's have a look at today's gorgeous project. So for this tutorial, we're going to be using the Anna Griffin Sentiment Stamp and Die set. And we're going to be using this particular stamp here, and it says thank you. Now, I know my stamps are well loved and it's pretty difficult to tell what they look like because I've used them so much. So don't worry if you don't have these stamps. You could substitute your thank you stamp for any thank you stamp you have. I just thought it's cool to make a nice thank you card after Christmas for all those gorgeous gifts. Or maybe it's a good idea for a teacher card for later on in the year. We're also going to be using the Anna Griffin Bohemian Cut and Emboss dies. We're going to be using this one here. We're going to use the ornate layer and the shadow layer. We're also going to be using the all square dies. We're going to use the round die, the ornate layer and the shadow layer. And we're also going to use something that hasn't been in the UK yet, I'm afraid. I'm hoping it might come to the UK at some point, but if you don't have this and you're in the UK, you could substitute it. You could use the all square die, the larger die that's in that set. But for my friends across the pond that have had this die set, I think this is kind of a good way to be able to use the set. We're going to use the large shadow die. We're going to use the large ornate die. We are going to use the shadow die in the centre and then the smaller die. So we're actually going to use all of those. Now the first thing that we're going to need is our base card. So the base card that we're going to use is from the Perfect Patterns 6x6 card set from Anna Griffin, and it's the Lilac. It's got a nice fancy edge and lilac. I didn't plan to coordinate my nail varnish with this card, but I think it's going to work out quite nice in the end. I think we're all going to coordinate. On the back of the card, there's already the handmade by from Anna. So I've added my name and I've added my project number. You don't have to do that. Now, for any new viewers, I like to use my bone folder along the edge where the card is folded to make sure we get a nice sharp fold, because that just helps it stand up nicely. It helps it keep it nice and straight, and it just looks more professional. That's what I think. So we like to do the inside of our cards first. So, and this one's no exception. Now the first thing that I've done is I've taken a piece of ivory cardstock. It's very creamy as this one. It doesn't quite match the inside of my card. Doesn't matter. And I'm just going to put the card to one side because we're going to work on the square insert first, away from the actual card base. Now the first thing that I've done is I've taken the actual reticulated die set, and I've used the large die, and it would normally look like this, but I've used the Lilac cardstock, and then I've used the centre die to cut a border, and then I've cut it into 4. So I've cut the actual frame as a frame and then just cut it into 4, and that 4 I'm going to use just to add on the insert as edges. And I'm just literally, I've got flat tape on the back of them already, so I'm just adding these just into all 4 corners, and that's the 4th one, like so. There we go. So those are my 4 corners, and then I've used the smallest die in the set from the reticulated dies, and again I've die cut it into Anna's metallic cardstock and then cut it into 4, and I'm just going to place all 4 corners into the 4 corners of the card, like that. See what I mean about the coordinated nail polish? It's going to match perfectly. I really didn't plan it. So those are our 4 corners for the card, for the insert, because this is only the insert. So we just make the inserts nice and pretty, because, you know, that's the personal part of the card, that's the part that the person reads, and it's nice for them to know that you've taken time and trouble, I think, to make those as pretty as the outside. So I've got flat tape on this, and I can add this now to the inside of the card. Before, it would have been more difficult to add those corners and just to get them to the right edge and to fit. So we can place that in the centre and press that down like so. And then for the centre, I've used the shadow layer of the smaller ornate layer on the reticulated dies, die cut it out of the same ivory paper, and used the stamp from the sentiment stamp and die set to say thank you. So I've got flat tape on the back, I can peel the tape away, and I can add this to the centre of our insert, like that, and that should fit just perfectly through the middle, and that is going to match perfectly to our outside. So for the outside of the card, I'm just going to use my bone folder again. Now I know many of you know why I do this, but we've got lots of new viewers at the moment, and they might not have seen this before. It's just so that the card stays in that nice shape now you've done the insert, and it still keeps that professional crease. Now for the outside of the card, what I'm going to do is, this is where we use the Bohemian die set, and we're going to cut a layer of the shadow die and the ornate die. The shadow layer is cut in the Lilac scrapbook designer collection from Anna, and then the Lilac ornate layer is cut in the Lilac metallic cardstock from Anna. I've got flat tape and I've got 3D foam on the back of the ornate layer, and I'm going to put one over the top of the other to give it that shadowed effect. I've then got 3D foam and flat tape on the back. The 3D foam is on the outside edge, that's going to sit towards the outside of the card, towards the corner, and then the flat layer of tape is for the inside. And then I've done that another 3 times, and we can add these to our card into the corners, and the third one, there we go, and then the fourth one, there we go. So already our card has got 4 ornate corners, and it's starting to look pretty. We've got a few more things to add. Now this is the base from the reticulated dies, and I've cut the full shadow layer. I've got 3D foam in the middle and flat tape towards the edges, and I'm going to add that just through the centre of our card, and that covers the actual edges of the bohemian dies that we've used as corners. This is the full layer from the reticulated dies, and I'm going to add this is on 3D foam, over the top of our previous layer, like so. Press it down, again in the metallic cardstock. Next, we're going to use the all square dies. This is the full shadow base of the circle. I've got this on flat tape, not 3D tape, and I'm just going to position that just in the centre of our previous layer, like so, and press it down. Then we've got the ornate layer, and this one is on 3D foam, and I'm just going to pop that over the top of the previous layer. So it's building up a pattern effect. Next, now you could use any flowers. These could be something that you've got left over. It could be something that you've had from one of your card making collections. It could be the mini flowers. It could be the favourite flowers. Mine are from a collection that I had, and I've just got some left over. So don't get strung up about the flowers to use, but it's a good one to use up flowers if you have some left. So I've just peeled the back away of the flowers, and I'm just putting them towards the top of the circle and pressing them down. I've got one of the sentiments from the favourite sentiment sticker collection from Anna. I've got 3D foam on each end, and I've left it as a sticker in the middle. So I'm just going to pop it over the flowers, just at the bottom of them, and press it down. And then to finish the card, I've got a large lilac bow, and I've just got 3D foam on the back of these. Now a lot of people, I had questions before Christmas, there was a small influx of them about how to stick bows on. Well, I just put a couple of the, the 3D foam pads on there, and then that way that will just sit nicely under our sentiment. And that is our card finished. And it's such a pretty card, very different, especially using the bohemian dies for the corners. It does look like lace. It is so pretty. A few layers in there for your posting. Now I know some of you don't favour the square cards for posting, so maybe you could hand deliver this one. I don't think you need any extra padding, and the inside matches perfectly to the outside. Stands up nicely, will definitely sit on a mantelpiece. I think that is really a pretty card, and I like the way that everything just tones in all the lilac, and it works well with the background card as well, and the layers, and it just works. It makes it look very, very pretty and very vintagey, I think. Check the blog for everything that I've used. I know we've got lots of new viewers. If you go to the blog, I always include a full list of all the ingredients that we've used, and then there's all the links on there as well, just for my friends across the pond and everything. Lots more photos, that's what I'm trying to say. Lots more photos of the inside and the outside of the projects. And you can always message me on Facebook, you know, give me the thumbs up on YouTube and share with your crafty friends. That would be great. So I would just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.